I hope you're staying safe and taking good care of yourselves. It's another episode of the Business Roundup right here on UBC TV. Big and trending stories tonight include Covidex innovators supported to boost production, abattoir owners decry lockdown measures during Eid, and the corporate sector supports government's COVID-19 fight. And across the borders, Zimbabwe approves cryptocurrency trading. I'm your host, Dennis Igor, and kindly don't touch the dial because it's showtime. And straight to our first story. Professor Patrick Ogwang of Jena Herbal Uganda Limited and the brains behind Covidex, a herbal remedy for coronavirus, has received an investment license with necessary incentives from government. Among the incentives geared at boosting Covidex production include 5 hectares of land in Soroti Industrial Park and a 10 years tax holiday. The investment license was handed over by the Minister in charge of investment, Evelyn Anite, who promised unwavering government support.
Now that he has applied for the investment license, he has put his business plan and the registration, all the requirements for the land, he has put it clear. And he made this request to me and my chairman this morning of 5 acres. And 5 acres is what we would give to him, and in Soroti Industrial Park. About the legal gymnastics, our president is leading the discussions, of course, to arbitrate. As you know, don't forget that Mbarara University is not private. It is equally government. So our president is keenly involved and is interested in this matter.
Covidex is a local herbal medicine recommended by the National Drug Authority as a remedy to COVID-19. The drug is made using a combination of herbs containing antiviral properties that have been traditionally used from time immemorial.
I went to China some time back and I found that 95% of medicines in China pharmacies are herbal. Herbal. Like you walk into a Freka or any pharmacy in Uganda and you should find Ugandan products there. 95%. That's what we want to see. We want to reverse importation of medicines to this country. For mine, I found that we import about 4 trillion shillings worth of medicine. 4 trillion. That's the money we are giving every year out. Jena wants to contribute to reducing that by 60%. We want to reduce 60% of 4 trillion should remain in this economy and grow this economy. And I know we are going to do it because we have invested for a long time in doing that, and we are going to achieve it. I also want Ugandans to know that there's nothing we lack in this country.
According to the board chairman, Uganda Investment Authority, the COVID-19 pandemic has underscored the need for homegrown solutions to such pandemics.
You are receiving an investment certificate through our processes in a record time of 1 hour. For me, that's monumental. And then 2 is that as Ugandans, we have to support the pathogenic economy. The president has said that Pfizer, for example, will only this year earn 15 billion United States dollars. And I can tell you, I agree, if Professor Ogwang's Covidex was somewhere else, it could have already been approved by World Health Organization. So it is us to support our local innovators, provide the support, and make them scale.
We'll look into our system and ensure, of course there's still a lot of work to do, but we have demonstrated it can happen. And especially for our local investors, how can we create efficiencies in the licensing system? Not all of our investors can read business plans or write them. But that shouldn't stop you getting a license here. We have a business development team here. Once you come in, our team should support you, prepare that business plan. Our goal is to ensure that you enter the formal sector of manufacturing.
Since its approval as a COVID-19 remedy a few weeks ago, the demand for Covidex has skyrocketed locally and regionally, which has prompted government's intervention in scaling up production. Nile Breweries Limited has donated oxygen cylinders and other vital personal protective equipment to the Ministry of Health. The gesture is lauded by government, which has in the recent days called upon the corporate community to assist in the fight against COVID-19. In the middle of the second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic, the demand for refilling oxygen cylinders has remained a challenge. Referral hospitals in the country have been admitting COVID-19 patients on a daily basis, some in a dire need of oxygen supply. Now government has confirmed plans of mega production of oxygen in all referral hospitals in the country. This will be in addition to the oxygen that the National Enterprise Corporation, the commercial board of the UPDF, is producing in Ruero. The Prime Minister, Robina Nabanja, says all is set and the production of in all government referral hospitals starts in earnest, as well as the procurement of vaccines to have at least 20 million Ugandans vaccinated.
Very soon Uganda will be producing all the required oxygen to the national response of COVID-19 and all other ailments across the country. Commitment of government to enhance national response to this pandemic.
Nabanja was flagging off 300 field certified oxygen cylinders to be distributed to 17 government referral hospitals.
Now we take the honor and praise on behalf of government and on behalf of the president.
The cylinders were donated by Now Breweries, purchased from Tanzania to a tune of 333 million shillings. The corporate affairs manager Now Breweries, Onapito Okomolet, said that the pandemic has brought the entire nation together to fight a common enemy, saying that the cylinders are part of the fuel and food supplies by Now Breweries in the previous months.
300 may not be ground shaking, but we believe that even if we succeed in saving one life, these cylinders are being procured from outside Uganda, to be precise from Tanzania. They are already filled with certified oxygen, both by the authorities in Tanzania and the authorities in Uganda.
Previously, regional referral hospitals in the country had been overwhelmed by the huge number of COVID-19 patients in need of oxygen and the amount of oxygen, and its production capacity wouldn't match the need.
The Muslim community this week celebrated Eid Adha, an event synonymous with animal slaughtering. Eid holiday came at a time when the country is on lockdown with restricted movements. Our crew visited the city abattoir and got the views of the business community regarding their trade.
For today's animals, there are very few by the way. Previous years, we have been slaughtering more than 800 animals. But today, we have just only like 200 animals for the day. So that means it is two. There are few compared to some back years or previous years.
When we talk about the business, it's kind of very low compared to the other days we've been selling meat, especially when you look at the goats. The smallest goes for 200,000 up to 450, and customers are kind of few because we don't have transport. They don't have transport to come in here. Yeah, I appeal to the President of the Republic of Uganda to at least reduce on the, we wouldn't think of numbers, reducing on the numbers because we are now counting them on fingers, but at least to at least allow us move, because he allowed us to be essential workers, but we don't have means of reaching this place.
For today's ED, it is very, but in terms of economic, we have not get anything from this ED. As it was last previous 20 years. For me, I've been here for 20 years.
Uganda is currently facing a shortage of cotton seed and sunflower cake, which are key ingredients in the manufacturing of animal meals. The challenge is forcing the manufacturers and dealers of animal feeds to import from the neighboring countries. However, the players believe the country has the potential to satisfy local demand and even export if the sector is streamlined. Uganda has in the recent years grappled with the scarcity of animal feeds. The dire situation has led to manufacturers and suppliers of the feeds to venture across the borders in order to satisfy an ever-increasing demand.
Murwana J. Peters stores located in Kisenyi, a Kampala suburb, have been in this business for close to 2 decades.
We've been facing challenges in quality production in Uganda, hence what has pushed us to go to Tanzania. In 2017, we had to import cottonseed cake from Tanzania, which we have been doing for some time, but government had not really understood the reason why.
Although they are sometimes forced to get their animal feed ingredients from the East African region, they feel Uganda has the potential to not only satisfy the local market, but also export feeds like cottonseed cake and sunflower. A multi-sectoral approach led by government to deal with the problem is proposed.
As I'm talking to you right now, I believe there's only one company in Uganda that has cottonseed cake. But companies like Nile Agro, Gadik, which is in in Gulu, and other small companies, they do not have cottonseed cake here. So we are forced to go outside the country to bring such product. And I call upon the Ministry of Finance to assist CDO to see that we get enough funding that is going to help our local GINAs to have enough seed so that we can have a 360 operation through the year. It is something that is possible, but all we need is sitting together, brainstorming and finding a way.
Other challenges facing the subsector is flooding of concentrate into the local market and exploitation of the feed sector by countries with high purchasing power.
We welcome people to work with us. It's really necessary. But when we have a small purchasing power, for example, Kenyans have a difference of 30-something shillings vis-a-vis to Ugandan shilling. So when they purchase here, they take even what should be remaining for the local manufacturers, local farmers. But if we can make it in a way that they take final products, or if they buy at a reasonable product, so that our economy as well stays in circulation. We've also been facing things like concentrates. There are other alternatives to these feeds, but we really don't know the outcomes of them. There are many that are flooding the market, but when they come in the market, they forget that these natural feeds, they help farmers from the grassroots, middlemen, transporters. So when you have these feeds coming complete from abroad, things like Netherlands, Belgium, Brazil, Asia, it spoils the economy of our country. People in Lira, Guru, they will not be able to go back in the farming because concentrates will take the place of this sunflower and cottonseed cake. So,
value-added tax on sunflower cake is also another issue that players condemn, since it drives the cost of the animal meals higher and impacts negatively on the customer.
Entrepreneurs in Forex trading are embracing new technologies in order to serve their customers better and grow their businesses. The quick adoption of ICTs in Forex is mainly attributed to the COVID-19 pandemic disruptions and tech savviness by customers.
Arua Park is one of the busiest business centers in Kampala's central business district. The streets here are jammed with trucks loading merchandise to mainly northern Uganda, West Nile region and the neighboring countries of South Sudan and the Democratic Republic of Congo. The nature of business involvement of foreign traders who buy goods in bulk have led to the steady growth of the Forex business. In its 8 years of existence, LOM's Forex Bureau and money transfer located on Titanic Towers has grown from 2 employees to over 50 currently, and also managed to open branches in northern Uganda and South Sudan.
Well, our major target right now in the next 2 years is going digital. We want to digitalize a lot of our services to be able to reach out to our customers more. We've been affected by the pandemic, and it's a little bit hard right now to interface with customers face to face, so we just want to go digital.
We mostly center on our customers, giving good customer service. Now, giving good customer service means like you give a good experience for all the customers. I train my employees constantly. We have trainings on customer service. We are always updating our websites on our rates so that the clients are able to know our rates. We have a database that has most of our clients. So what we do, we are always sending them messages of our daily rates so that they are in touch with what's happening. Yeah, then we We keep on doing promotions, giving out items, different items, t-shirts, pens, things like that, yes. And also with that training, my employees they are able to provide that good customer service. Once they are trained, they are smiling.
Similar to other players in the financial sector, LOM's growth journey has been littered with challenges. These include increasing number of competitors within the same area, fraud, crime, and the most recent COVID-19 pandemic.
It is important to be prudent in whatever business, to try and save whatever you can, even in the worst of times, with the hope that business will be opened up and resume as soon as possible. Secondly, is to find alternative things as well as the use of digital services.
Because the more we go digital, the more we limit the fraud cases. If I reach there, they tell me transact using your mobile phone, send money to this number, transact with this code. It makes fraud issues very low. So the only thing that we can minimize fraud is to go digital and embrace people to do e-transfers. You know, you go to EFT, probably RTGS, you do all those kind of net banking and the mobile money. It will limit it reduces, but to a smaller extent.
Several occasions, some of our clients come with notes. I won't say that it is to their knowledge that these are really counterfeit. Maybe sometimes they have gotten them from other places.
For sustainability, the Forex business has now joined forces with commercial banks through the agent banking product, also embraced new technologies to ease service delivery and enhance security.
Well, agent banking is more like third-party banking. So we are intermediary with different banks. We have most of the banks. So basically, people don't have to go to the banks and make those long queues lining up for money. They can just come here and deposit their money and withdraw their money.
We as developers and we as Ugandans and Africans, we need to look at how we are living, which problems are we having, and how are we solving them. Because the problem we're having now, we're overlooking at the other countries. Okay, we admire them, but their problems are not our problems because of lots of things, political waves, what.
But what should a customer consider when in need of a foreign currency, such as the shilling, the dollar, the pound, or even the euro?
The first of the thing, when you want to do Forex, you have to do a research. One, you look at the cap the central bank has set during this week, and then you play around. If today the dollar is 367 buying, and then that's the rate the central bank has set. So you need to play around within there so that you don't lose. So those are some of the things that the customer should be considering before they match to any Forex bureau. And then I've seen, like, if you know people, you make business. So every time also I encourage the customer, when you go to the Forex bargain, they don't think like you have the money, then you just put them there. So because this is the economy, how it's running, so you have to know people and say, oh, add me something. And that has worked for us. Some of us now, we sit down and we call, brother, I have 1 million this, I want this and this, can you help me to work on these figures? They always do that, but it's not the best way of working. It's not the best way that you can attract even investors to invest in an economy where you must know someone to trade.
Absa Africa Financial Index 2020 ranked Uganda second best in Africa in the ease of access to foreign exchange. South Africa topped the index with 80 points, whereas Uganda comes second with a score of 67 points.
Otherwise, the shortfall of revenue is a reality. We got from URA about 1 trillion in June, shortfall. And you don't expect anything better if the whole of July is under lockdown. So we project the same 1 trillion. So 1 plus 1 is equal to 2 trillion shortfall. Then on the basis of that, you further go ahead. To give you the magnitude of the suppression, we now need to hold the bar there. Even if Parliament has approved that amount of money, about 22 trillion, we now think, on account of this impact, 2 trillion must be put pembeni, put on the side first, that we are not likely, may not realize that. But we may realize it if the economy opens. We never know. The country is full of surprises. Ugandans are hardworking. They may be able to work hard and they recover that 2 trillion. And then on top of the 2 trillion, there is 600 billion supplementary. Now we have suppressed further there. So the amount of suppression in reality is 2.6 trillion as of now.
Well, let's head to Zimbabwe now, where the government has recently approved amendments to a Securities and Exchange Act to include virtual assets such as cryptocurrencies, whose trade, of course, is thriving despite being unregulated. Here's CGTN's Farai Mwakutuya, who spoke to a cryptocurrency trader in the country about the growth of the space.
Tatenda Mataure started trading cryptocurrency in 2017 with just $30 which he since built into a portfolio worth thousands.
Whereas if you have acquired the right skill set and you sort of know what you're doing after a few trials and errors, you can make yourself maybe 50, 60 US in a day. Whereas, as I said before, you were like, this is what I'm working for in a month. So financially it starts to make sense.
In 2017, Zimbabwe's central bank shut down the country's first Bitcoin exchange, saying it did not recognize virtual currencies. However, that's not stopped traders from buying and selling them, especially as they offer a store of value and are a way of supplementing incomes in a high inflation environment.
The only way to monitor the cryptocurrency trades is by watching what's happening on social media platforms. Such as WhatsApp groups, Telegram groups, whereas some days the groups will be like, hey guys, I'm selling $100 worth of Bitcoin, $200 worth of Bitcoin. Now you can wake up in the morning, guys will be like, I need 50,000 worth, I need $200,000 worth, It's the space is growing. And this is what we said to the regulator, that look, these trades are happening with or without you involved.
In recent weeks, monetary authorities seem to have begun warming up to cryptocurrencies. Previously, the central bank was hesitant to legitimize virtual currencies because of the high risk of potential fraud. But now, perhaps realizing that the global trade cannot be ignored, is working on a framework to regulate them. Meanwhile, players in the space are also actively engaging authorities.
If you want to do anything on a national scale, you have to have the authorities involved, you have to have the taxman involved, and you have to have some kind of deposit protection and structure to it. My company, Bitflix Fintech, we're working closely with the regulators, and we hope to have a very friendly solution available to the public very soon.
That will hopefully see cryptocurrencies added to Zimbabwe and US dollars, plastic and mobile money as the diverse modes of payment accepted here. Farai Mwakutuya, CGTN, Harare, Zimbabwe.
In our Sounds of Business, adventure tourism is a product that Uganda's tourism sector players are enthusiastically marketing. Uganda Tourism Board, a government agency with a mandate of marketing destination Uganda to the globe, is taking the lead in showcasing Uganda's potential. Check this out in our Sounds of Business.
I am limitless. We are going on the top of Mountain Rizoli.
As we sign out BRU tonight, we leave you with something to ponder on, and this is about embracing local content. Products manufactured locally and using the locally available raw materials have a big social and economic impact to the country. Therefore, our appeal as the Business Roundup team is to you, the citizens of this country, to consume local. Thanks for being part of the show. I've been your host, Dennis Igoa. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Uganda First.
Patriotism program in secondary schools was launched in 2009 by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and he was focusing on secondary schools